Hello, welcome back. It's August. Well, it's September, but we're doing August. We have quite a lot of world records this month. 284 world records, 205-ish videos, 27 unique players. We got PH right up there at the top with 49, Riffo dropping down to 6th, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 7th maybe. I can't quite count. Only 13 records, but still up there. You got PH, you got Zad, you got Forever Last, you got Gassy Gainer, J Height, Nature, Riffo, Amino Vert, Amnesia Nero, Rainbow Shadow, Uchi, Mizo, S, Terminator, Juhu, Clasps, Dez, Ekas, Malice, Melancholos, which I believe is Marisophos, Ferrus, Butter, Saikawa, Rico, Wizard Juicer, and Bert. Wait, Wert and Vert are different people. Huh. News to me. Anyway, it has been a pretty damn good month in August. We're going to be starting off with 2 records, so yeah, do remember. Oh yeah, XDWC starting in October. There's a prime video on my channel. It'll be the last one uploaded after I upload this one. Check out the blog post, check out the forum post, check out the whatever. XDWC is coming. Get excited. Yeah, October. So, it's coming. October the 8th. So, yeah, we're going to start off with 2 records that were sent to me by Des for specific looking at. So if you have got any good records that you're particularly proud of, or any records that are particularly good to you, send them over. I don't know the number of maps this month because the date is a bit funny. So the exact number of maps, not 100% sure on. This map, well, it's a good record, but the main reason I was sent this was because Dizzy used the J Height used the nickname "Take That Dizzy" when setting the record. But of course, it came up as J Height as he changed back before the video was rendered. But still good record. We're going to take a look at it. Unfortunately, it didn't come up at the top of the screen there. Would have been nice. But yeah. And apparently this record is absolutely incredible. So we've got a pre-fired rocket, then we're hitting 3 rockets to hit that double on the pre-fired rocket. Over the top there. 400 at 4,000 is incredible. That's a ridiculous, I'm pretty sure double jump just happened there. Up on the top. Let's watch that again. Let's watch that again. With playback speed half. Happy upbeat background instrumental. So, the first thing we're going to do is shoot a rocket in that direction. Then we're going to backfire, double, get fast enough to forward fire, double explosion there for an extra 600 ups. Then we're just going to take 400 or 400 or 500, I think, from that. 300 from that, going so fast we can't actually turn, but beautifully turned, minimal loss of speed, to then gain 400, 400, 300 over the top. I don't think it was a double jump, it did look like it at full speed. 500 off that, 300 at 5,500. Absolutely mad. Yeah, that is quite some record right there. So yeah, do send in records if you've got records that you are happy with, because we'll actually take a look at them. You know, we'll go back, even if they're really long. You know, don't troll with it, please, and send in dodgy hour-long records. But like, cracked 20-minute records are fine if they're really good. Because that was the original aim of this, was to kind of go back through and really study the records. But then as soon as I did the first one, which I was studying a lot of the records on, and it was really long, and then there was, I think, nearly four times as many records the next month. And then that was before it became what it currently is, with how many records. There's so many records, because at that time it was 3 days the record had to stand for before it became a video. Now it's only 24 hours. So, yeah, it's a lot more records these days. Which is good, because it means we get to see much more history of the records coming through. We get to see the true, actual progression of all these as they go through. But yeah, if there are good records, you know, set on maps with good history, please do tell me. If there's like a back and forth fight that gets recorded across a month, I'd love to see that. I really would. Like I'll put them, like I did with this one, put them at the start of the playlist and rattle them off right at the start. Because I think it's worth it. That was clean. Like this, some of these records I don't talk over. Or a lot of the time I'm certainly not talking about anything particular. Like half of this is a podcast. Really. It's a vaguely Xonotic based podcast. But yeah, I don't always see the records that are really good, and I certainly don't realise that there's been a back and forth between people until we're on like one of the last ones. Once I've seen 3, I suppose that's when it starts being an actual back and forth. But it could be a back and forth between 2 people, and only some of the records got uploaded because of the 24-hour period. It's a beautiful start. Wonder Why has got some really nice slick starts. That was a clean at that end. Getting around that corner, like, it's a lot harder than it looks there. And the amount of times where you just bonk. Oh hey, this is the current Quake 3 walk-up map. Interested to see how this is taken. So far the same as I would say in Quake 3. I haven't done a run like this, but I can see this. I can see all these lineups sort of thing. Yeah, no shortcuts. I'm pretty sure there's probably a shortcut in Quake 3 because you can ignore checkpoints. But not 100% sure. There's just a lot of overlapping things and jump pads that lead into double jumps. This is a confusing map. Where you've got to go and how you've got to do it in this map. Guess a lot of people. Oh, interesting. Actually taking that teleporter. Must be too difficult to get yourself turned around to get back to the jump pad. So taking the teleporter's worth it. Big days. This must be a record from last month. From July. Don't believe I saw Dez's name on the list. very beautifully ran. Taking out wort. Such calming music. There's clearly a map with a lot of routing. I've never played it before. Watch your eyes for this one. This is going to be terrible with all the compression ratings going through it. I forgot it makes that noise at every checkpoint. That is a beautiful finish. Just, I don't think hit the wall, but just right up against it. Oh yeah, this map's, I like this map. It's cool. All of the routes, like the route where if you can't make it up that, where you go around, like every route is interesting and fun. And it just flows really nicely. When you do get on through. Terribly sorry about the yawning. It is very early for me. I needed something to do. I'm awaiting a retiree's bike ride at 10 o'clock when as I am recording this. It is currently 20 past 8. I'm normally slightly more awake only because I have to cycle to work. It's the only reason I'm more awake on a morning. Does a good job waking you up, that. But instead, I'm here making that content. This map is named RMN Crisis just because it will give you a crisis. Because you have to be so tight to everything. And to figure out the routing and stuff like that. Oh, that's a super nice W. I've really got to learn to W10. I just I just don't trust it. I don't know what it is. But it's actually, in a lot of cases, more powerful of a turn than AD turning. And it's really overpowered in Xonotic because we still get W acceleration. So you're actually gaining speed while W turning. And then you straight back on the gas, whereas AD strafing, you've got to come off of the gas. Yes, you're going to gain speed as you go round the corner, but there's a good chance that you overshoot and lose speed as well. But then you have to reset yourself before you can get back on the gas. Oh, wow. Big slightly tired is actually quite nice watching these. You still all of a sudden see something coolish. Oh wow. Just looks robotic. Good Cave Spelunking movement is just so smooth. Ooh, that was you could see the big time cut, the 0.66. That's a big time cut. That's from making that jump, I reckon. Classic Malice map, this. Absolute classic of a Malice map. They've apparently been infected by Vert with the slappy slaps. Really nice to see though. It's one of those maps where you just hope you make it through. For mere mortals. But guys like Amino, just on another level. Nice. Oh yeah, this map. It's brutally flowered up. Haven't seen this map in a few months, but it was a big grind for Malice the last time that I was recording. And yeah, the last time I was up to date. The big grind for Malice, and we've seen this record come down from, well, I think 5 minutes. I think it was at the 5-minute mark, and now we're down within under that 3-minute mark. Quite impressive cut, especially since it's come pretty much just from Malice. But that no chat tag is genuine for Malice. It's not just a joke or whatever. But it does mean that the way that Malice grinds is completely different, because having no chat kind of means that he doesn't have access to who to like the chats around what map to play next or anything. Sees the votes, but that's it. And it means that grinding a map on your own, completely void of everyone else's records, you know? I think in reality, Malice isn't playing for records, isn't playing for beating other people. Malice is entirely just Malice versus Malice. And that's pretty cool, especially when you see me versus me ending up on the absolute top ranks. Especially in something like pod racing, which has been played by a lot of people and really tried for by a lot of people, rather than this, which is people have played it, but it's a hardcore parkour map. It's 4 or 5 minutes long on a good run, excellent run, being something like that. Yeah, fantastic. Back on this map again. Taking this record off of Amnesia. See if there's any slight changes in routing since the last record is fresh in our mind. Amnesia going through the teleporter. Also the route here. Goes through on the inside of that. I don't believe Amnesia did that one. This end, I reckon there's going to be a reroute. Just got a suspicious feeling here. Yes, going straight across the top rather than dropping down and taking the bounce pad. This is a good map. It's a really good map. Might take a re-look at this. Admittedly, you are supposed to have... not managing to get the weapons back out. You are supposed to use different weapons for different sections of this. And those masks, they're just absolutely ugly. Yeah, they're terrible. Like here, you're supposed to have the grenade launcher, not the rocket launcher. Weapons aren't taken away from you in Xonotic like they are in Quake 3. And nobody ever bothered adding the quad in, apparently. This section, infinite rockets and quad, you just look backwards, shoot, and you can get up to the top of there without the Hagar. But yes, it is better to then Hagar and maybe one rocket into the finish. I believe at a certain point it's better to just rocket. But the top guys in Quake 3 at least were able to keep the quad all the way through that, finish with the quad. Interesting. An interesting map. cleanly through there. I couldn't tell where we were going there. That wall pattern really weird. Could see a map where weapons are taken away though. Very technical map as well. Oh, nice. Water coming out of nowhere. Seems a bit strange, but there you go. Oh, kickback pads. Nice. I was wondering if that last rocket was going to just shoot straight down, hit a kickback pad and bounce up. I doubt you'd be able to do it. I don't think there's a kickback pad at the bottom of there, and you wouldn't be able to curve the rocket round. I don't believe in this we have the ability to curve rockets, but I'm certain we don't. But even if we did, I don't think you'd be able to do it still. But a very nice run. Very clean for a long run like that we haven't seen records on before, I don't believe. For most of these, it has to have kind of gone through a battle before we tend to see a clean run come out. Since when was that last bit slick? Sure, I was playing this map like 2 days ago. Why can't I do this? That bit's slick, you dumbass. My slick detector's on high. This will be a... That was really nice. You know what? At this rate of how well J-Height's playing combo weapon maps, I reckon he's got a serious chance of taking a map win. XDWC. Clasp's still absolutely kicking the arse of every slick map out there, apparently. We have a live world record coming through from chat. We have NES Indus Slick by S. First place. Really clean. Nice live record though. We will, of course, be seeing that in actual next month's record review in September, which I hope to get out in early September. September review, which I hope to get out in early October before XDWC starts, so I've got half a chance. And then I have a feeling that October will be late because XDWC runs into November. But we'll see what we end up with. We'll see what we end up with. Because for those of you watching YouTube, I tend to record these after getting home from work. Do about an hour, which is the same as what I usually do when I get home from work and stream for about an hour during XDWC. And yeah, it kind of goes like that. So the overlap, XDWC is going to be rough. It's also going to be rough because I'm going to be doing the weekly DeFraG, weekly XDWC reviews, but you can go in there. I'm sure that kills you in the normal version. Because we are DeFragging. Well, I'm not. I do hope to one day make it into one of these. Maybe. But it's a fair game. I'm sure in the like non-combined version, like the 30-second one, that I've died in them before. Either that or I just avoid them because I bonked in one, probably. Maybe it's just a mental thing of bonking in one. But yeah, I'm fairly sure in the strafe version and like single parts, because that's the one I've mostly played because of how Xonotic server like splitting works. This is a long map considered. I think over a minute. It's a long map. Maybe it's a minute and a half. What the fuck? Wait, what? What the hell is going on here? And did it actually make any use? Like, did any of those explode, or did they just are they just in stasis or something daft? I mean, that's pretty clean. Another record on an ES Induslick. 5.001 in that one. I mean, that's... I'm confused about this first bit. Oh, this is just destroying Induslick. This map's tough. Like that looks easy, but the chances of falling in any of those holes or having to take evasive action, super difficult. That's one of those where if you want a good time, you have to commit. You have to figure out a route that will work, commit to the route that you have decided will work, and keep going until you hit it. You know, no, oh, I've just got to do this, I've just got to avoid that. You have to just commit until it goes through. If you bonk, reset. Super crispy clean strafe changes there. Oh yeah, commit until your fingers fall off, or you get record. But there are some lines in Rocket maps that just feel like RNG, because strafe is relatively consistent. Obviously, these games are predetermined types. Actually, I don't think Xonotic is. I don't believe Xonotic is a predetermined thing. Or not predetermined, but deterministic. I think different inputs can give different results. But, oh no, same inputs can give different results. But, yeah, rockets, because 10 ups, you know, the faster you're going, the smaller the margin for error is, and the bigger jumps, and how little of a difference one degree when you do a wall rocket is the difference between maybe 20 ups in some cases. And that just means spacing kind of isn't a thing, but also spacing isn't a thing because you've got so much you've realistically got 3D to play with. You can only jump so high, or you can double jump, but that's a different spacing option, and it's finite options. Xonotic, they're better now. The rockets are better now. But also you play high ping, so probably does just feel like RNG. I know anytime I've played on NA servers for duels and stuff in the past, whatever game I've been playing, Xonotic, Warfork, CPM, UT, anything, it's felt. There's an NA server? Didn't even know there was one. It's alright though, because there'll be NA servers for DeFraG World Cup happening same time as Quake 3 World Cup. Classic. Last time we had the excuse we announced it first. This time, Quake 3 World Cup was announced last year. But yeah, what can you do? It's a good time. I think realistically, having it at that time of year is a better idea than trying to do it in like January or something. It would be nice if... Holy shit! Riffo's absolutely cracked that one. Because the previous plan was just bang, bang, bang. Yeah, it would be... That's a really good run. It would be nice for Xonotic if DeFraG World Cup for Quake 3. There must be something to doing that. They must explode, because otherwise no one would do it. Repeatedly. It would be a silly thing to do once that happened to get world record. But it must do something. Ooh, that wasn't the greatest over the top. But that was a lot better than Riffo's. No, not than Riffo's, than Amino's from before. Yeah, it would be good for Xonotic if Quake 3's got pushed back like a month. Because that would mean that they'll be separate. And for the people that aren't mega grinders, it could be nice to take a break for a bit just before, you know? Like, the mega grinders aren't going to want to fuck up any practice, you know? They're going to want a lot of practice going into it. And not to fuck up muscle memory and learn auto hop or anything daft like that. But for the kind of just outside the top 20, maybe guys around that range, they might pop over. It also means that Knight would actually play, because Knight has said after 2019 he won't play DeFraG in both games. He won't do both DeFraG World Cups at the when they're on at the same time. Although 2021 he came. What did he do 2021? I want to look it up. So 2021, the last overlapping one, Knight came third. In round one, I think he played for 20 minutes and came second. One of the rounds he played for like 20 minutes. He won round... Oh no, he didn't. Came third in round two. Mac won round two. Mac won round two because Dizzy went and played and got, I think, 17th. Oh yeah, everyone says they won't play. No, this is a choice from Dizzy because it was too hard in 2019. He ground both, trying to win and do really well, and he just said like trying to do both was too hard, and it didn't play off in either. You know, it just sacrificed having a good. It just wasn't worth it. You know. And especially since Xonotic is kind of... Well, it's got a lot better recently, depending on who plays this year, because we've got a lot of good record breakers, but Riffo's kind of saying he's not going to be going for the overall, he'll just play maps if he likes them. That sort of thing. There's a lot of good players that could push it this year, but are they going to? A lot of the players are actually come over from Quake 3. They just wanted a break. A few players. Obviously, the Quake 3 world record hunting side of things is a little bit less than... Xonotic isn't great. We don't... For a long time, no one gave a shit about world records at all. And there weren't really any... Just like guys like Donald. Donald had records. Donald and Comia had records from 4-5 years old that no one had touched on maps that were played regularly. But there were just no top level players giving a toss for a while. Because yeah, it always takes two to push records. Would be hilarious if Goblin and Baz sat it out. What'd be even funnier is if Dex sat it out. Like, nah, fuck VQ3, I'm gonna go play a CPM game. Completely different game. Like Dex or Strangeland or someone like that. I do... Yeah, I know Dex hasn't been around for a while, but at the same time, didn't 2021 he didn't play for since 2019 or something? Wasn't? I think that was... I believe that was said in the first round. He didn't play since 2019 and came second in the first one. But yeah, I know Dex hasn't been around for a while. So we got a few records when Neon White first came out, though. Got a few records in that. Yeah, last time just like some kind of lack of motivation type thing. And also Quake 3, you never know what someone's actually done. Because they could have just played offline. And even if they, you know, took a year off and then played kind of from time to time, but never uploaded to walk-ups. Or didn't play walk-up maps and stuff like that, just compared their records to what was known. Yeah, I do hope that there's a good turnout for both championships. Because Quake 3, I think, could do with the serious push of top players going at each other. It's like all of these things are right around these games, and yet they're just kind of, you know, look at how Trackmania took off and that sort of thing. And trust me, it's not the esports that took Trackmania off, it's the map grind. Bonk. You could see that coming as soon as that video loaded. You could see that exact bonk coming, couldn't you? So weird, some of the textures have gone on this map. But also, Cos, welcome to our busted system of never taking people's weapons away from them, and everybody's just annoyed. Also forgetting to bloody enable power-ups. Who the hell? Oh, God damn it. I made a massive video to tell people how to set up maps offline and test them, and how to enable stuff like power-ups, and nobody ever bloody does. Yeah, accessibility is definitely a thing, and yeah, cars are more relatable. But there's also just that kind of, I do think there's a little bit of that, but there's also a bit of just obviously luck with Virtual hitting it off. He was always, because I started watching him just before he hit it on YouTube. He was kind of hitting it on Twitch a bit, and just before the new game came out, especially, I kind of completely by accident, through kind of getting into DeFraG, got back into Trackmania, which I hadn't played for a while, and then they were 2 weeks later or something, ridiculously close amount of time, they announced the new game was coming out. So I was like right there for it, and then went, oh shit, I'm not even going to be able to play this one because I'm on Linux. But I was there, and the main thing that got me into it was he was battling really hard with Riolu at the time for EO5, not EO5, that's the ridiculous one, EO3, a Dirt World record on Trackmania Nations Forever map, and they were both going at it properly, and that was really cool to watch the battle between them. And that's one of the things that really, when I saw the whole cheating thing with Riolu, was one of the things that really, I remembered how I got back into Trackmania after such a long time. Because when I first got into Trackmania, nobody streamed it. There was literally nobody on Twitch playing. I watched one tournament with Frostbuel or something. But yeah, it was weird seeing that, because he got all those records on stream. It's like he had the yes and no, depends on the map. It's very much, it very much is more towards the kind of person who would enjoy strafing rather than pure Rocketeers. But I think there's a lot of Rocket players who the main thing they like is the incredible routing options, and there's a lot of maps that do evolve, there is no one fastest. But it is definitely like the majority of the maps are more precision and here's your lines, do this. Yeah. And obviously there's a lot of maps that are just, this is the route. Well, there's a lot of hard tricks as well. If you're just here for hard tricks, then Kaki's your thing. Kaki and trial maps. There's a lot of balance. And I think there's a lot of things that DeFraG can learn from Trackmania and Trackmania could learn from DeFraG in terms of people making maps. I found one really interesting map built by someone. I can't remember what it was called. I was pressing random on the map, Trackmania Exchange maps, downloading random things. And this one map just had these crazy tricks. I couldn't complete it, but I could see where the crazy tricks all were because I knew of all of these kind of bugs and the bug slides and the ramp pits and all this sort of stuff. I knew of them. I could see the route, could see what I was supposed to do. Executing is completely different. And I looked and it was one of these ridiculous maps, and then somewhere in the map there was a DeFraG logo, or I'm pretty sure it was a DeFraG logo. It wasn't quite perfect, and there isn't an official DeFraG logo, I don't even think. But there was a bunny, and I was like, "Is this guy? It's probably a DeFragger." Yeah, then it all made sense. I was like, "There's a bunny in here." This guy DeFragger. Started looking up the name, couldn't find anything like that they'd made a DeFrag map or anything, but a lot of people use different names in different games for various reasons. Oh, there's Slick out there. Huh. Makes more sense as to why I always had a really crap record on this map. Also because it's just hard. Like, you can't really see where you're going, and then you just bonk one of those stairs every bloody time, I think. But yeah, I think Trackmania should learn stuff from DeFraG. DeFraG should learn stuff from Trackmania. The main thing... Holy shit, that was good. The main thing I think that Trackmania got right, which is more down to the content creators themselves, was creating opportunities for non-grinders that means that they're interested in watching grinds. So TMGL, the Grand League, the World Cup, it's a one-shot racing type thing where you race directly against other people, but there's no other cars to overtake. You can turn the other cars off. It's effectively a one-shot time trial, which to me from cycling is something I know well. And I especially know well from the track. The pursuit race is racing around a track for 4 kilometers, chasing another person on the other side. It actually doesn't matter what the other person does, because they're not going to catch you. If they catch you, it's not a top level race anyway. But you race for 4 kilometers around the track, and that's very close to the kind of racing you see in TMGL. But then the practice for that is time trialing. It's setting the records, but then there's a whole ooh about it, because some people will hunt for records in ways that they wouldn't actually be able to pull off in a round. You know, some people will go for these ridiculous tricks that you're just not going to be able to pull off in an actual round of the game. And they'll pull them off, and they'll get the record. But then people will be confused as to why they came 5th in rounds. It's like, well, because they're not as good consistently. It's one of the same reasons that Carl Jr., he's one of the top competitive Trackmania players. Incredibly consistent, incredibly good at finding these consistent routes. But he's not got as many world records as you'd expect from him. And that's partially due to the record side of Trackmania going to Trackmania Nations Forever, and the competitive side being on TM2 for a while. But he doesn't have as many records as you'd expect him to at all, because he grinds to try and win tournaments rather than records. And at the same time, someone like Hefest, he's not actually that good at tournaments. Everyone's always like, why doesn't Hefest win TMGL? Hefest's just a grinder for weird routes. He's willing to smash his head into a brick wall for something he knows will work because they've Tazzed it before. When Taz came out, these kind of guys got ridiculous. Because these guys were always willing to smash their heads against a brick wall for something that might work, that they'd theorised had worked, but that someone had kind of done. But then Tazzing came out, and they were able to prove that it definitely actually would work if you could execute the commands. And they were like also able to go, yeah, and you've got a 5% margin for error, you know, in terms of time windows. Or this one's pixel perfect, but this one, fuck it, whatever, it'll do. And then these guys have even more impetus to actually go and do it. Whereas before it was like, if you got 5 guys that would be on board with grinding it, 2 or 3 would believe you. You know, would actually believe in it and put the grind in. Whereas now it's like, you got Taz, you've got proof. It definitely is true. So all of them believe in it because you've proved it. I like this back and forth between taking the inside corner but losing all your speed and flinging it round the wall. But that end's cracked. That's absolutely incredible. Yeah, competitions of being consistent, especially the tricks that they're doing, it's absolutely mad. I mean, they wanted to put the World Cup tracks last year, or the TMGL, one of the two. They wanted to put them into the ranked version of Trackmania, and it was like, oh, that works. We're going to have to make them shorter because they're too long, traditionally, for these sort of maps. That's fine. So most of them became 1 lap instead of 2. Cool. We can deal with that. But then they also had to put them only so that you could play them after you hit a certain rank, and that's fine because maps got slowly introduced as you ranked up. You'd only be playing certain things until you ranked up to stop people from going in and finding out a map for the first time, which still happen because a lot of people just play ranked and that's it. So they get shit, learn all the new maps, then go into ranked. So there's always been a kind of where you shouldn't be able to play ranked until you've got a gold on every track, but in a day I don't want that because there's crap players that they want playing ranked, and getting a gold on every track is really difficult. Blah blah blah. Okay, so you shouldn't be able to rank up, yada yada, whatever. They also had to dumb down the identities because they were so ridiculously difficult. It'd be like throwing a new player into this. Like, this would be an identity. That one section that we've just seen there. And then the map would continue with something as ridiculous as this. And so, yeah, it's a very It's a delicate balance that the developers have to try and strike for keeping stuff in ranked, but also getting stuff to be played by everybody, but also keeping it hard for everything else. Well, so it's not gatekeeping, so it's ranked as in like you play live next to someone. So it is player interaction and you're also on teams. But the problem is if you dump everybody into maps they don't know, some of them aren't going to be able to complete those maps. So you kind of have to hope that people know the maps. And you kind of have to go, well, is a brand new player going to be able to play one of the harder maps at the end of the series out of the 25 map pool? Probably not. You're still able to play the ranked, like rankings of leaderboards. That's fine. That's still a thing. But yeah, you can get pretty pissed off if your teammate, because I think that's the key weird thing. That it was done in teams to make it easier for people, because if you're shit and you're on your own, you're just shit. Whereas if you're shit and you're in a team, you've got half a chance, because you always get a point. It's 3v3, or it might be 2v2 now. They kept saying they're going to change it, but points go all the way down. If you finish, you get 1 point. This map's so strange. Like, you'd think that the fastest route would just be to go brrr and fly around those walls, but no, it's to really specifically use the pull and go at half the speed, but you're going like a quarter of the distance. And you don't get wall bugged. Also, J-Hype, I did 2 of your records as like starter records specifically because Des sent them to me and said that they were really good. One of them was the one just because you put your name as Take That Dizzy, even though it didn't get uploaded as Take That Dizzy, but one of them was that one. The other one was a rocket one, which was absolutely nuts. Live J-Height record with J-Height in chat. When did this map get good? At some point that map got good, and I can't remember where it was. They were all added at the same time, a bunch of them, slick version, strafe version and rocket version. And the slick version was pretty good straight from the start. The strafe version took a while and people were bonking in records for like 3 or 4 records. And then the rocket version, I can't remember when it got not weird. Holy shit. That's like a -2 jumps on the previous route. That is absolutely nuts as strafing. I think it's going to be really cool if... Oh, since you're here, J-Height, how brutal is this map to grind? No checkpoints, fall off the edge, completely reset, minute long. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, the depth and level of talent that we've got this year going into XDWC really gives me hope for a good competition. Because you've got Zad, J-Height, maybe Riff on 1 or 2 maps. He's already said he's not going to probably play the whole thing. Just going to play the maps that he likes. Or like play them, see how they are, and then you know, maybe put half an hour into it or something. But I'm surprised that there's not a lot of competition. Maybe I'm thinking of a different version of the map, because I've definitely seen a lot of good runs on that map previously. So maybe it's one of the different ones, because I know there's a couple of differently numbered ones that are ever so slightly different. Yeah, I think W2, that was W4. I think it might be W2. Porting the rocket map shouldn't be too difficult, but you will have to do some fancy things if you want to test it properly. Because you have to download a patch that's been made for the rockets, because we've got different rocket physics to default, and they've not been merged in yet to anything. You'll have to set up an offline server-y type thing as well. Which is a bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah, getting the physics set up is a bit of a pain in the ass. I have a video and a forum post linked on that video somewhere on my YouTube channel. But yeah, it would be great if you did it, because... Oh, nice. Yeah, it'd be great if you did it, because a lot of the time, like we saw with Precision, people will make them work, but just make them work, you know. That Precision map plays completely differently and is just kind of annoying when weapon switches happen, versus actually you're supposed to now be using that new weapon. And nobody even bothered to turn quad on. Like, that's... People will just do player clips and stuff like that until the map works, and then go, map works. And it annoys me, because then people complain when they come over to Xonotic that these maps are like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah. Yeah, you'd be surprised actually. The slick should port over just automatically. The nades, you'll pick them up if you pick them up. You will have to be careful with ammo, because it's still shared ammo between rockets and nades. The main thing is that by default, going so fast, couldn't even make it into the finish box. By default, ammo is infinite. So you'll have to figure around with the quantity of ammo used per shot if you want to make it line up. Because that's kind of one of my biggest annoyances, is by doing that by default, a lot of mappers in Quake 3 will give you a rocket launcher and then won't bother taking it off of you, because they'll only give you like 4 shots. But in Xonotic, because it's default to always having all ammo, you'll get the rocket launcher and then you never lose it. Completely changes... I can't remember what the name of the map is. I can picture it in my head, but I can't remember what the name of the map is. But it completely changes the routing on one map, because you've never got to take... you've never got to take ammo. So the route's completely changed. Because even though in Quake 3 the ammo's very, very easy to come by in every room, you have to go through that box to pick it up. Like, you'll never run out of ammo if you go through it, but you have to go through it, and if you miss it, versus just hug the wall. If you take MG on spawn, you'll also have to take shotgun, but you you get a mustache. the default crosshair for no weapon is a mustache. I think you'll have to do that in Xonotic language though. But yeah, it makes sense. Vert will probably be upset that he can't slap all the way through. Nicely done. Don't think I've seen that in the, or maybe only seen it in this. Maybe it's not possible in the shorter version. Let's go do this for part 1. We'll roll on part 2. Hit it. Let's go. We're rolling in at part 2. Should be some good records. I had a quick scroll down. The list. Some good records. And I've seen a few good records coming through for September as well. As I've been watching the servers rolling around. This map. Memories. I'd say those who know, but probably nobody does. Bad memories on that map. I wonder how this is going to go. So we've seen quite a good set of records with the rocket launcher version of this map. But I do wonder if there's going to be a possible cut. I feel like one of the cuts should probably be available. It's definitely going to be quicker to take the inside line rather than swing it round the back. It seems to be quicker to take the inside line even in the... what's it? It does not look like you can get up. But there is probably just cut that corner, yeah. Really clean though. And there's the rocket launcher version. With JH. It's still wizardry to me, how you keep speed like that. Yeah, keeping it on the inside seems to be the tended to method. Oh, that was a really nice finish. This map's really cool. We either saw it earlier this month, or I believe it might have actually been last month's. It's all blended into one. I've literally been doing one of these like every 2 or 3 days, doing an hour's recording since like a month ago. Much cleaner. I remember the last one, that last bounce was absolutely on the last pixel to get across that gap. Still watching? What do you mean am I still watching? I only watched less than 3 minutes. Of course I'm still watching. Oh. Interesting route there. I'm not sure if that's intended, and that's just a really weird map, or unintended, and it's been made weird. Oh, here we go. We have actually seen this record already. This is the one we watched right at the start of the month. But yeah, we get to see it. We get to see it again. Incredible record. If for some reason you skip the start of this video, scroll back to the very start of this video, the first record we watched. It's that one. Yeah, for anyone watching, remember, send me good records that you think I should take a look at in more detail. If I should really watch them, watch sections in slow motion. Don't tell me too much about them when you send them to me, but just tell me like if you catch me online, send me, you know, just the map name and the player who did it. If you message me on something, maybe even send me the YouTube link if it's already been uploaded. If it hasn't been uploaded, just let me know. I'll find it, put it into the playlist, and yeah. Nicely smashed through. It's nice to know as well when something comes up to actually look at it and to make sure that I'm paying attention rather than kind of spaced out or something. Because a lot of these, if I've not played the map, chances are it's just looks like just clean. And if I don't know the map, I don't know anything fancy about it, I don't know that. Apologies. I don't know that a shortcut's being pulled off or something like that, because I'm not very good at this game. That's why I talk about it rather than playing it. Got a live second place, but we're not going to call it out because I reckon there's going to be a live first place in a minute. That was very nice. Tiny improvements on these maps, but very fast. This is such a brutal map. Not just in the actual playing it, but also in the way it looks. I do like watching these mad rocket records. I don't think I'll ever be able to set one myself, or set even a good time on a map like this. I just can't seem to understand rockets. I need to put more time into them. $11.99. Almost certainly the final second barrier on this map. It is incredible how long we spend grinding such incredibly short maps. Good to see nature racking up good records. Yeah, this got grinded. This did. I was seeing it kind of get grinded last month and thinking, wonder where this is going to end up. It's not a fun map. It's a really, really difficult map. Because if you fall off, you might as well reset. But yeah, that's a really good record. That's really good. Yeah, I mean, from the looks of that, it's one of those things where you don't know if someone's going to be able to -1 jump or something, or just, you know, maybe 20 ups gets you a massive shortcut. But that looked pretty clean. But yeah, if someone can sub 1 minute that would be incredible. What the fuck? How do you play maps that just have random ass cloud textures in the middle of them? There is of course a chance that I mean, you can't actually see these because sometimes these broken textures only appear in the recording because they only appear with certain settings. Alright, this one was visible. Ah, that's good. Someone fixed it. Yeah, it's one of those where You just have to learn the map. But it's a lot harder to learn the map, obviously, if you can't see where you're going in the first place. I don't understand it, because I'm the sort of person who, if on those maps that have kind of doors going the wrong way, I will go the wrong way. If there's a door and it's easier to see the door, even if I know that the door is the door, I will just head the wrong way. This map's getting ground out at the minute for Black Sheep. As much as people complain about slick bugs, they do be grinding slick bugs. Nicely. R7 Inca ruined? Yeah, it was ruined by the fucking pre-jump. The best thing about having Ash map every single, well, bar one, every single XDWC map this year is that we know that there are going to be no pre-runs. Hopefully Cool hasn't just done a ridiculous pre-run. Really? Aren't all Ash maps like you start on a tiny little podium? Like there was the pre-run thing, there was the no pre-runs. Oh, the one with the mines? How? We started in a box. I know there was technically a pre-run on the... You could teleport out with the practice tellies. Ah. I know there was technically a pre-run on round 0, because when you went through the teleporter for the first to like go into, when you chose whether you're going to the practice room or the actual map, on round 0, there was a chance you got yoked out of that at bajillions of whatever, but you just smashed into the wall at the back and it didn't matter. You weren't. If you managed to somehow predict that and save time, you're a legend. Oh yeah, yeah, going through there and backwards running and all of that stuff. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, one grenade extra speed is worth it, probably. It's the sort of thing I think you'd have to... I would personally, if I found that and wanted to use it, would run it through with the admins before doing it. Because you wouldn't want them to just reject your run in post if you did it. Like, imagine I get a top 20 and they with that and they watch it and then delete it. I would be like dead. Realistically, the only reason they're gonna check is top 20. Reported it to yourself as an admin of XDWC. Yes, I shall report this to the admin. That would be me. Oh, weren't you admin last year? I'm just a mod. Just there to tell us all to keep it PG. Wow, that's got so fast that people aren't even using the slick anymore. Until it gets even faster and jumping into the slick directly is the thing to do. Yeah, Moon loves to tell us to not swear. That's such a crispy, clean strafe to get across that first gap. That bit's ridiculously hard. Like, I don't think it comes across on the video how difficult getting around that corner can be, even at quite a lot slower that I'm doing it at. It's difficult. Yeah. Get around there and just not killing your speed by overstrafing or overturning. Okay, so this Riffo record is faster than J-Height's previous record. It's fast, but it's not as crazy. It doesn't have that kind of just made it. I think it's so much better. That's the thing. It's that much better that it's kind of looks worse, because J-Heights was so close to hitting everything. It was so close to missing. Like, Riffo got such a better rocket, that pre-fired rocket, so much better from Riffo. Like, J-Height basically nearly missed his. But that's kind of what makes the run impressive, that sketchiness. That almost made itness. It's like we're watching all these strafe runs. Like, this is massive because you can tell how close people are to falling off of this track and quite how close it is. But what you can't tell is all these little bumps and gaps, how you're going to fall through those. And on the strafe maps, we look at them and we kind of just go, oh wow, yeah, that's really impressive. Not give them, you know, because they just look too easy. It looks too clean compared to weapons maps, which, you know, it's got to look a bit scuffed to look impressive. Same reason everyone remembers a wet race run in downhill mountain biking. I was playing this map just last night, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, big DJ starts in that last one. Shit map. Ooh, Vano map. I like these. Oh, it's like the dropper. You fall through each gap. That's cool. This is a map you can tell it wasn't made in Minecraft first, because there's just not enough air control to do this sort of thing. Nearly clipping that purple one at the end there. Oh no, not perfect. Boom. Be interested to see that one get improved over time, where people manage to find time other than the mistakes. Because I'd say next record, 1 mistake. Or maybe just a better 2 mistake. Record after, you know, probably 2 or 3 records time. 0 mistakes. And then it'll be interesting to see how that can manage to get improved over time. This will be interesting. Oh. Yeah, I was going to say this would be interesting because the last time the house was nearly hit. But I guess that pulls the spacing then effectively forwards so much that it pulls it backwards to the bounce before. Well, that was just quite impressive. Classic map, this. Riffo only playing techie strafe maps. It's weird because he has told me before he doesn't enjoy tech strafe maps. It's got to have flow to it. But it's quite funny because all of the maps that you tend to see him playing are forcing flow into a techie map. And then you get the mad lad Amino, who just does shit like this. Nearly 6 minutes of tightrope walking, where I know I'd be way too scared to do anything but walk. I certainly wouldn't be like actual full strafing. And going for shortcuts and everything. Yeah, I've done a couple of these type maps before. It is definitely harder to try and walk, just for the floaty nature of Xonotic. I've done a few maps with sections of tightrope walking type stuff, nothing like this, more the start, like this sort of stuff, with sections like this. Probably about as long as that section was before it got really tricky. I've done a couple in Quake 3. And it's definitely a lot easier to walk them in Quake 3 because the movement's just less floaty, but it still isn't easy. Like, the movement's not made for it. You don't have a crouch button that stops you from falling off like in Minecraft or a game like that. Those sort of things, like these runs make spikes like that look easy, and I know we see some fails sometimes on longer maps. I don't think we're going to see one on this because it will be falling straight to your death. There's no real way to save it, but we see the fails, but realistically we see one fail and then they get it. What you don't see is how many resets. Nobody sees the reset grind because no one streams these grinds. What should we stream? My XDWC grind and DeFraG World Champs at the same time. Although apparently, oh yeah, 5 minutes of this. The most impressive thing about this, apart from the actual technicality of the run, is there's been no repeats. We're 3.5 minutes into this run now. More than halfway up. And other than basic sections like that, there's been no repeating sections. All these kind of difficult intermediate sections have been unique. And I'd say even these sections are fairly unique. They kind of obviously serve just to get you from place to place without too much difficulty. But my hands would be so dead. Like, a 5-minute run on its own is quite a lot for my hands to take. It's actually part of the reason when I used to play Mario Kart that I played 200cc. The main reason was the overall time. Oh no! And fortunately it's not too bad of a fall. But that's certainly going to have cost 30 seconds. But yeah, decent save. Only going to cost... Let's see... So we fell down at 420, I think, roughly. And we're back over... Yeah, 30-35 seconds. Very clean through at that time. That's also the incredible thing. Getting through that section, despite having just fallen off it, still going for the fast strat. Because it is realistically the best strat. But yeah, one of the reasons, other than the main reason being that the runs were over quicker and that meant I could get more runs in limited time. Sort of quite often I can only put an hour straight into something. That's why these are recording in pretty much hour segments. Partially ADHD, partially actually having that time. But yeah. The other thing was my hands getting tired. Make sure you've got a drink. If you have got a drink, take a drink. If you haven't, go get a drink. What the fuck? I didn't even see when that ended. Oh, this... Not that you can actually see anything on this map. I'm gonna put it to everyone that I can't see anything. It's just gonna be very difficult. What? I mean, that was clearly not the intended route, but okay. Yeah, there are some maps that compression just absolutely wrecks. I'll try getting a bit better quality out of it. Oh, I'm on 720. I actually can't run 1080p very well. I certainly can't run 4K. It's annoying that I can't get 720, 1080 30. That would be good. 1080 30 would be very good for watching these for the stream. High quality, but I don't need the frame rate. 60's nice, of course. I'd rather have 60 for studying frame by frame each section, but 30's nice for just watching, and it halves the amount of data usage. Nice little reset flick there. They killed 1080-60 at 1080-30 as an option, assuming that the video is uploaded in 60 FPS. Obviously, you can still upload a 30 FPS video. But yeah, they basically assume that if you've got the ability to watch 1080p, that you have decent enough internet. And it's like, and that 60 FPS matters. But there's so many videos I watch where 1080p matters so much more than 60 FPS. For gaming stuff, sure. For this sort of stuff, yeah, if I wasn't recording it, where it actually doesn't matter because I'm going down to 30 FPS anyway, sure. But for cycling vlogs, 1080p matters so much more because compression running through trees with like the dirt, ground colour and grass, and it is terrible compression when you're watching a cycling, like a downhill run. But I don't care about 60 FPS. It doesn't actually matter that much for that. So yeah, having the extra, you know, internet seems to be playing ball. Touch wood. Here we go. J-Hype reclaiming the record from, I can't remember who. Live world record on Regluo 2 by EO Use. That'll be in the September episode. Oh, -1 rocket. Not that it matters, we've got infinite rockets, but -1 rocket not bouncing off the wall. Able to get a better angle for the exit. Right, I need to focus on this one, figure out the route. Apparently that's not solid. I'll still forget it. I probably need to drop down. And just straight through and round there. Okay. Yeah. Ah, this map. Very difficult due to the spacing of these pads. Yeah, it's probably a better improvement on that one. No one's got anything of those sort of maps perfect. There we are. I think this is the other one that we saw at the start of the week, where this one was meant to have the Take That Dizzy name, but it didn't come through. Right map, don't know if J-Hype beat the run. Got a double record on the same run or anything, but yeah. Nicely done. Very little speed loss there. Very good. +0. Very nice. Then working off a whole 0.14 versus the previous best run. That's not massively going to be the same as the world record. Not 100% sure what I'm talking about. But Des once again proving that he is, of course, the master, teaching slick wall tricks to people, getting world records. Speaking of slick bugs, and it's not even a piece of slick. What? I get the feeling that this map might have been newly added. But what the hell happened to duels for them to not set a decent time? It's alright, strafing. Yeah, dude, we've got a vid. Fair play. It's always just confusing on these longer maps. Like, at this point, Duels is on track for possibly sub 1 minute. And Saikawa is just kind of like unless Duels couldn't work out where the finish was here. There we are. Fair play. Any way to get a video? Can also do this confusing map. That somehow is still a strafe map. Like, there's every weapon on that map, and somehow the best route doesn't go through a rocket launcher. I feel like this is a much more vivid, darker red than the red that was in the other, but I don't know if that's just the compression. Like, now we're on a higher quality. Or if it was because that lot was next to other colours. The legendary Juhu there, developer of the Strafe HUD. That's that green and purple bar you see going across the middle of the screen. And many other things like velocity pads and other fixes. Oh, I enjoyed this map. I got a good time on this, actually. Actually, slightly annoying watching this, knowing that I was doing a lot of small shortcuts that Uchi's not doing, and that I just couldn't strafe hard enough. Yeah, full strafe hard route. Nice spacing there from Nero to make that work. It's difficult to do so. Oh, beautiful around there. Normally I'm like kind of smashing into the wall and making it work. Just scrambling for the bounce pad. Across to the finish. This map looks clean. I like these textures. And that jump was also clean. Yeah, that tile space run did look, but someone will probably improve it in about a week. Either that or it was down for 4 years until anyone even plays it again. That is one of the problems with having so many maps, is you'll go onto a map and you'll go, why hasn't this been beaten? I'm sure I saw like a better route or something. And you go look at it and it's just not been played. Because in general, people just forgot about it with having so many maps. People forgot about that one map. And it just never came up on the auto playlist. Very nicely done there. I reckon sub 38 is possible on that map. Terminator again, taking a mine strafe rocket record. Similar first half, just keeping much lower to the ground on that second half, managing to get much more speed forwards than speed upwards, because it is pretty flat the way that they just went. Pretty flat route. Yeah, this is getting closer and closer to that sub 1 minute we were talking about. Do you know what? I'm going to create a file on my desktop. Called Maps to Look For September. I'm going to add RDK 18 checkpoints. I'm going to look for that map next month. We're going to run this one at double speed because it's boring. Well, yeah, we don't know whether it'll be grinded that much, but I can always take a quick peek, see if there's any more records. Because it will be worth watching if that gets sub-minuted. Or gets close to a sub-minute record. It'll be worth watching. And one of the reasons I started this this series. One was just because I wanted to watch all of the records, but the other one was because I do feel like with the amount of records we have, sometimes people just aren't bothered about setting records. You know, there was a time before RTG came through where people kind of weren't too fussed outside of XDWC, and that's why so many Dizzy records stood for like 4 years, and Commia still had records from 4 years ago and stuff like that. But now we've got a much healthier scene, which definitely isn't down to me because it happened slightly before I got around to doing this. But yeah, I'm just going to find... I think I'll just slowly add maps to that list. That'll also help. Like, if a map is really worth it, comes up a lot, being ground by a lot of people, worth looking for. Nicely done. Now this may look like it's still sped up, but it's actually just slick. And this is just for Everlast absolutely fighting the slick bug beast and fighting being not magneted to the floor. Yeah, I want to highlight the worthy world records. That could be interesting, yeah, doing a side-by-side of the previous and current on certain world records. That would definitely take a bit of forward planning though. That would take someone really telling me that a world record's worth looking into. I do want to find some maps where world records have shifted a ton and they've really got a good history behind them, and to do a like deep dive kind of video, like a proper world record history, rather than these kind of generic, I'll watch, I'll talk about them, more reaction style podcasty sort of, stick this on in the background and just watch it when you've woken up early. But yeah, deep dives, I'd have to pick one, and I wouldn't want to do one until after XDWC now, I don't think. Yeah, I'd want to do it right, would be the thing. I'd want to, like, talk to the people who set the world records. You know, it'd be a case of, the easy part would be finding all the records that have been uploaded over the years. Obviously that could both be on Packer's channel and on this channel. Looking at those, asking Morrow for the list of world records on that map ever, if somehow he's got data going back that far. And then talking to the people who set the world records and asking them about the map. And then I would obviously have to play the map myself and take a look at it. I am planning on doing for the XDWC stuff, I am planning on poking messages at people for who've come in the top 20. Here we go. A cleaner run on this map. Probably still get a bug at the start. Oh no, managed to avoid the bug. This map might have been reset because I believe we saw it last month with those glitched, what's it's on it? Cloud type things, the untextured clouds. I suppose it probably wouldn't have been reset, it might have just been that nobody wanted to play it. As soon as they saw that it was all messed up, they probably went, nah. That was surprisingly clean. Heading into the final little section of this month. Regrelu 01. More a reminder for the stream here. But also everybody, get a drink. Make sure you stretch. Make sure you are ready. Stretch your legs, get a drink, make sure that you've eaten if you need to eat today, make sure you've walked the dog, whatever you're doing. I know that sometimes when I'm watching these kind of videos I just get carried away with things, not listening. Just put these sort of things on in the background while I play games or whatever. Oh, going around the back. I don't think I've seen that before. I've seen a couple of records on that. It's definitely not the way that I take. But it makes sense. Keep the speed. Go around the back. Classic vert map, slapping all the way. Ah. Oops. Yeah, that's broken. Oh yeah, you've always got to appreciate a good slapping. Why can I not? Progesterone? Oh well. That looks pretty close to not making it up with that that power of bounce pad. Flinging over the head of Nero. Decent slick. Not incredible amount of speed coming off of that slick there. Decent amount though. Yeah, it is surprising to me how many maps I haven't played whenever I watch these. Because I feel like I should have played quite a lot. But even looking at... like, it's both surprising to me how many maps I've played. Or how few maps I've played, according to XDF stats. Then how many games I've played according to Xonotic. But then... the difference between those, and I know it doesn't all line up really, but yeah, I feel like I should have played more, but I really haven't played actually that many quantity of maps. You are online about 24/7 though, Des. And have been since 2006. Ooh. But 2006 is only 17, 18 years. And that's only a handful in the eyes of a deity, you know, who's lived forever. Oh god, that section would break me. There is no way I would remember when to exit there. Is this the broken map? Oh, that's good. That's one of the first records I've seen in a long while. Oh, you can do that. Yeah, as you said, it's one of the first records I've seen in a long while that's made the slick and not kind of only had the tail end of the slick. Lovely bit of Christmas music. For some reason this song reminds me of the music in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. The more active people, Malice and a couple of Clan Arena players who literally never leave. It is quite funny when DeFraG World Champs rolls around. Some people who play DeFraG and are on that high list drop their drop out of the most players list, and some people go into it, and it's not because they're playing any more or less, it's that there's some people like me, I come home and play for about an hour and a half as soon as I come home, but that tends to not finish a map. That tends to be right at the start of a new run of 2 hours and not quite finish it, so Xonstats doesn't catch me as finishing a map. In fact, I'm pretty sure last year there was one map that I didn't play according to Xonstats. Xonstats doesn't have me playing that map, but I must have played 12, 13 hours at least. I just never played to full or to the end of a round. The R Cup. This one got disputed. What happened with this map? Watch it again. You see absolutely nothing. Oh right, they were having like a fight internal on the map. See, I don't get that data. .1. Yeah, it's gonna get ground like that. Yeah, I don't get that. I only get records once the map's ended. The last record for this month, Z Pillar. The record being taken back off of Vert. This one's gone back and forth. I actually tried playing this map. It's a hell of a lot harder than it looks. You have to be very precise and you can't stop. You can't jump between them gently. You have to do it in one run. Very difficult map. Very good map. Anyway, that's going to do us. I'm now officially caught up. August is over. We're only in September. Join us early next month for the XDWC. And slightly earlier, hopefully, next month will be the September episode of this stuff. Send me the records that are good. Send me the things that are good for you. Thank you to all these players that you can see on the screen now. Thank you for everyone for watching. I'll see you next month.